The market is wrong on these Dynasty players. In front of me, I have Santa's nice list and Santa's naughty list. This is the video I love making, man. It's basically buy, hold, sell. And we got a long list of players, man, where I'm just going to tell you, this guy is ranked too high. This guy is ranked too low. If you're holding on to the guy that's ranked too high, bam. Hello? Scamtron calling. Let me send you an offer. Get rid of that guy, man, for the value now before his value declines. If you're holding on to somebody that's valued too low, that's a good thing, man. You're in a good spot. And if you don't have that player, go target him for trades. Here we go. Name numero uno, Mr. Justin Herbert. Been in the news recently. You know, obviously the Chargers, massive L in the first round of the playoffs. This guy is a top 20 Dynasty asset. I believe his rushing upside is overrated, and his points per game production, honestly, is overrated as well. Look at his rushing upside. He had his best rushing yard per game total of any year of his career, 31 rushing yards. I'm not there on the rushing upside. Now, his touchdown passing rate, you know, like the points per game, what are we doing here? Herbert is young. Herbert is consistent. Herbert doesn't miss that much time, even though his O-line is trying to actively get him assassinated every single time he's out there. But I don't think Justin Herbert should be a top 20 Dynasty asset, even in Superflex leagues. Jaxson Dart, we're just going to pivot to Jaxson Dart right now. I would rather have Dart than Herbert. He is 5 years younger. 5 years younger. That's great. Okay, yes, please. I'm not calling Herbert old. He's not. But Dart, 5 years younger, yes. And more points per game than Justin Herbert just had as a rookie. And Jaxson Dart, rushing yards per game, way higher than Herbert's ever had. And the rushing touchdown rate way higher, 0.7 rushing yards. Listen, Jaxson Dart can improve in terms of passing. Malik Nabers will be back. The Giants' O-line should be better. And now he's got Harvey as a coach. Jaxson Dart is somebody that I'd be sending offers for, man. As long as Dart can stay healthy, and this Giants team looks like they're going to be taking a step forward in the years to come, and Jaxson Dart's going to be a centerpiece of that with the rushing upside, it has me excited for Dart's future. Whereas Herbert, I don't think he should be ahead of Jaxson Dart, you know, for what I'm seeing with production. Name number 3 is Caleb Williams. Now, Caleb Williams is rising with every single playoff game he plays, but Caleb Williams was, you know, a week or two ago, around 20th overall in value. I believe Caleb Williams is going to be somebody similar to Jaxson Dart that's going to have the rushing upside that makes him a good Dynasty Superflex asset. Specifically in leagues where you have 4-point passing touchdowns, the rushing upside of quarterbacks cannot be understated. Williams took a step forward in terms of passing ability, yards per game, much higher. Touchdown passing rate, higher. Rushing, honestly, it was a little bit lower, but he had a rushing touchdown rate which wasn't terrible. Took a step forward in that aspect. He stayed healthy, and the Bears offense just looks like they're poised for long-term success. You have Ben Johnson as the head coach. Looks great. You got DeAndre Swift and Monagai, okay. Luther Burden looks like a stud. Loveland looks like a stud. Rome Odunze, he is a stud. He was honestly under-involved because of injuries. So Caleb Williams' future looks bright, and I think that we could see Caleb Williams. You know, I think he's fairly ranked on this site specifically, but I think a lot of people still have Caleb Williams lower in these rankings in their mind. Go put out some feelers for him. Ken. Malik Nabers. I'm confident that Malik Nabers is a good asset. I'm confident he's a good player. Do I really want to hold on to him right here, though? Listen, Malik Nabers has an injury history. He just got destroyed. It's a bad, gruesome injury. But prior to that, he already has the toe injury that's been nagging him since college. Sure, he's 23 years old. That's the same age as some of these guys coming out of the draft this year as receiver. So he is young. He still has his whole career ahead of him. He is very, very talented. And now we're going to see him with a good quarterback, maybe the first time, with Jaxson Dart. So the future does seem bright here for Nabers, but he's so value insulated that he's still a top 15 asset. If you have any reservations, if you have any concerns, now would be the time to pivot. Because if Malik Nabers doesn't recover from this injury as we expect, if he gets banged up again next year, the insulation's gone, man. People are fed up. They're going to want to see Nabers produce. So the value insulation definitely is lower. And if you know, bad season, bad start to the season, whatever, we could see him drop all the way down to this D tier in these rankings on Flock Fantasy. So this is the time to move if you want to. So I'm going to put him as a too high. Garrett Wilson. He's too high. He's too high. You know, the Jets, especially with Dante Moore. Dante Moore said, 50 million? I don't want that. I ain't going to the Jets in the draft, come April. So Dante Moore passed up on being the Jets quarterback. The free agent QB market's not great. Like Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, who's going to be the QB? It's not looking good. Garrett Wilson has not done anything good throughout his career in terms of fantasy. Sure, he's a good wide receiver. He doesn't have a good quarterback. He's trapped. He trapped himself by signing a massive extension. So he wants to be here in New York. He doesn't want to, but he wants the money. Garrett Wilson, he's just been mid from fantasy perspectives. And it's a bad team, and it'll be a bad team next season as well until they get a serviceable quarterback and do a lot on that Jets roster. So Garrett Wilson is somebody where he is still ranked too high in my eyes. Would you rather have Garrett Wilson or a guy like George Pickens? I'd rather have George Pickens right now, where if Pickens re-signs with Dak, that's going to be, which he'll probably get tagged, so he might not. But George Pickens has shown more upside than Garrett Wilson has ever done in 4 years with the Jets. Garrett Wilson could, perform to that upside with a better quarterback. I'm not saying he couldn't, but I just think that if George stays in Dallas, that's going to be a lethal combination right there. Brian Thomas Jr. is too low. I've been screaming it, video in, video out. We're seeing him score touchdowns in the playoffs. I think a lot of this point per game average reduction is due to injury in 2025. I know it was. I think he was playing through injury. We saw him miss time in 2025. Right here, you can see he missed this whole stretch. And then when he came back, he was ineffective. His target rate was still pretty decent. Jacoby Myers. Everyone's treating Jacoby Myers like he's the crown prince of Saudi. It's not looking. 29. He's getting up there in age. So I get that Jacoby Myers might hinder BTJ's upside. I'm not concerned. Travis Hunter, he'll be playing both sides, BOTH, both sides of the ball. I'm not concerned about him taking targets. Honestly, Parker Washington seems like the biggest pest in that offense to me. And if you're telling me that you have more faith in Parker than BTJ, you're trolling. You're trolling. Brian Thomas Jr., if you can send a late 2026 first for BTJ, that's the value, like a 107, 108 or later. If you can get that deal done, man, you are a stud. And I've actually seen that price work in real Dynasty leagues. Travis Hunter, speak of the man himself, way too high. Way too high. He's falling in the rankings. I've been saying it all season long. Listen, he wasn't good when he was playing this year. Okay, he's a rookie. He's playing both sides. Spell it out again. He's going to be playing defense. Do we need to spell defense out? This guy's not going to have a high snap share. And it is a crowded room. Parker Washington, Parker the Pest, give him the nickname. BTJ, yeah, I think he's the number one. Myers will be there for another year, right? So it is a crowded room. The snaps, it's not like the targets are not going to be high, man. And if you can pivot from him for the guys around him currently, yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. I know he's been a bust, but he's better, man. He is better than Hunter from a dynasty, for sure. For sure. Colston Loveland is still too low, and he keeps rising as well. Honestly, he might have risen so far, I'm going to start scrolling up these boards. There he is, number 44. Colston Loveland and Fannin, you compare these guys both in there. I think Harold Fannin is lower, a better buy than Colston Loveland is right now. Colston Loveland, we already saw him kind of break out in the playoffs. I doubt you're going to get the managers to be giving you anything for him. He's a young tight end, and he seems like one of Caleb Williams' favorite targets. This is going to be a rookie connection. Colston Loveland is going to be somebody that Caleb Williams targets for the next 5 years. He's only going to improve. Look at the points per game he posted in the second half of this year specifically, and in the playoffs. He's involved in the red zone, so I like him and his outlook for the long-term future. He's already risen, though. And I think we're going to see that with Fannin maybe next year. We already saw him this year. This guy broke college records for how good he was at tight end, and he showed that he can translate to the NFL as well. He was consistent, man. He put up 12 points per game this season with 3 different quarterbacks. Who's his name? Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, and Shough. And Shough, if he is the starter, might be Deshaun Watson. I don't know. Shough did have a connection with Harold Fannin. Look at the points per game right here when Shador's in. 11, 25, 12, 19, 11, and the touchdowns. This guy put up a touchdown for 4 straight weeks in a row almost. Fannin is a great buy low opportunity. I love making these videos, man. The buy hold sell is my favorite. RJ Harvey is too low. He's 25 years old. That's freaking people out. Watch how he does in the playoffs. His stock might rise based off of that. I don't even think or know or care if they bring back Dobbins. This guy's always going to end up getting hurt. RJ Harvey, you can't really look at the average on the season. Look at what he did in the back half. 24, 20, 21, 22, 22, 20. And what you can specifically look at is the receiving usage, the targets. 5 targets, 4 targets, 4 targets, 6 targets, 5 targets, 6 targets. Involved in the receiving game. Pretty decent in the rushing game. And his snap share, honestly, could be higher in the future. They invested draft capital in this guy. We're going to see him, running and earning his money. Because he's going to want, year 2 running backs. Running backs lose value. What can you do for me today? You don't want to get replaced. RJ Harvey's going to have a very, very good 2026 season. And this is a guy I'd be looking to target as well. He's a serviceable, good running back option for your roster. Javonte Williams is too low as well. Where is this guy? Don't tell me I got to scroll down. I basically traded Javonte in my Dynasty League. I ended up placing 5th or 6th. So I knew I wasn't going to win because I had some injuries. I ended up getting the 103 for Javonte. I couldn't be happier. So I traded him when his value was highest. Since then, he has fallen. The reason I'm saying he's too low is because he did have a good season. 15 points per game. He did lose some steam towards the end here. But it does seem like Jerry does want to re-sign Javonte. We all know that the contract negotiation ain't going to be that linear. But if Javonte re-signs with Dallas, it is a very good offense when Dak is healthy. And when Javonte is healthy, he has shown he will be getting the touchdowns. Touchdown rate, very good. Receiving usage, pretty solid. So Javonte is a good buy opportunity as well. I think he's going to be looking good for the next 3 years if he stays in Dallas. We'll have to see what they do, though. Tyler Shough is perhaps the lowest of this video. This is somebody that I would sell some good assets for. Like, not great, but good, because he is old. He's 26 as a rookie. We knew that was something concerning coming out of the draft in 2025. All that I like to see, don't look at the averages because the averages are skewed. Look at the back half of the year. The points per game is great. 20 point per game average. I like it. The passing, pretty dang solid. Average almost 300 passing yards per game. Okay. The Saints have a top 8 selection in the draft in 2026. They could get Jordan Tyson. They could get Jeremiah Love. Almost said Smith. I didn't. Rushing wise, this is what I like. Averaged about 30 rushing yards per game. Yes. He is the Saints' future. They already said they're committed to him in 26. The offense and future for the Saints, Kellen Moore, it looks bright. And this guy should be high. Okay, True Fantasy. Where would you put Mr. Shough? Scrolling up. Scam Ward? Have you lost your mind? You got Scam Darnold and Scam Ward back to back. Okay, so right off the bat, he's higher than them for sure. Comparable to Stroud. I have him higher than Stroud because Stroud ain't rushing the football. He's getting killed by his O-line. I have him up here with Baker. Like, he's a top 50 Dynasty asset for me, honestly, even just seeing the small sample size of the second half of the year. So I do like Shough a lot. Kyle Pitts is someone too low as well. He had the breakout, guys. He's only 25, had the breakout. Free agent. Where he signs will be important, but you saw when he got the targets this year, he was effective. He was efficient. His red zone role also increased compared to the rest of his career. Not great, though. Room for improvement. If he goes to the Chiefs, that's where things get exciting here. Rico Dowdle will be the last one of this video that we'll cover. Rico Dowdle starts scrolling. Listen, we don't know with free agency what's going to end up happening here. The Panthers, they could have Dowdle as the lead back, or we could see Dowdle maybe have a different landing spot. We could see some other guys in and out of Carolina. Landing spot will be important here for Dowdle. And I think that we saw him kind of show that he is pretty effective. Like, he had 13.5 points per game. The reason I like Dowdle is because you don't have to trade much. Second round picks in 2026 aren't going to be good hit rates, especially mid to late second round picks. I don't know if I'd be ready. I'd probably wait and see the combine and if we have any risers that we think, oh, the second round might actually be better. But Dowdle for like the 212 or a third round pick, not too shabby. You'll have to see if you can pull it off. And you'll have to see the landing spot. Is he a free agent? Where's he going to end up? I hope this video will help me out. I really like Shough. A lot of names in here. I love doing these videos right here where it's like buy, hold, sell, giving you guys some guys that are too overrated, underrated. Really should help you with your Dynasty offseason. Let me know if you want to see another one of these. Smash like, subscribe button. See you in the next one.